These are imposters! Seize them!
It looks like Jack Black might be stepping away from the jungle for now because the actor has recently given fans some mixed signals about his return for Jumanji 4. Ever since he joined the rebooted Jumanji franchise back in 2017's Welcome to the Jungle, where he played Professor Sheldon Shelley Oberon, he's been one of the funniest and most beloved parts of the series. Alongside Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, and Karen Gillan, Black helped breathe new life into the adventure series, turning it into a global hit that balanced comedy, heart, and action perfectly. Then came Jumanji: The Next Level in 2019, which kept the fun going and left audiences eager to see where the gang would end up next. But now, it sounds like the future of the franchise could be heading into some uncertain territory, especially after Black's latest comments that make it sound like Jumanji 4 might look a little different, or even move forward without him. Even though fans got a reason to celebrate in late 2024 when Sony officially scheduled Jumanji 4 for a December 11, 2026 release, it doesn't seem like things are moving very quickly behind the scenes. Normally, with about 20 months left before the release, production should be well underway, but so far, there hasn't been much signs of progress. That's also part of why fans are worried, because if cameras don't start rolling soon, it's hard to imagine the film meeting that 2026 release window. And from what Jack Black has shared, it seems like the cast hasn't been contacted about filming yet. In an interview with Deadline, Black was asked directly if he'd be back for the next Jumanji adventure, and his response wasn't as reassuring as fans had hoped. "Well, we'll see, I hope so," he said, which makes it sound like even he doesn't know what's happening. When pressed about whether filming had started, he was quick to shut that down. No, I don't believe that. I'll believe that when I get to set," he added, sounding like someone who's heard promises before but isn't counting on anything until it's actually happening. And when the interviewer tried to get more details about the production timeline, Black's no was about as clear an answer as you could get. From there, he shifted gears to talk about something else, his retirement plans. Jack Black admitted that he often feels like every project could be his last. "In fact, my feeling is always, I've already done my last film, I'm pretty sure I'm done, I'm pretty sure I'm retired," he said. "I'll let you know if someone pulls me out of retirement, but it's been a great ride." It's a statement that caught many fans off guard, especially because Black has hinted at retirement several times before, but he always ends up back on screen with something big and exciting. Now the big question is Jack Black really retiring? It's hard to say because he's been talking about taking a step back for years, but somehow his schedule never seems to slow down. Every time he mentions that he's ready to rest or spend more time with his family, he ends up getting attached to another huge project. For someone who keeps saying he's winding down, Black sure has been busy. In the past couple of years alone, he's been everywhere. In 2023, he voiced Bowser in the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which became one of the biggest animated hits of all time. He also reprised his iconic role as Po in Kung Fu Panda 4 and joined the cast of Borderlands, another video game adaptation packed with big names. And let's not forget Dear Santa, a dark Christmas fantasy film that let him show off a slightly different side of his talents. Even now, Black's calendar is far from empty. He's got Minecraft the movie coming soon, a live-action take on the beloved video game, and he's currently working on Anaconda, a reimagining of the 1995 cult horror classic, which is set for release on Christmas Day 2025. So while he might sound uncertain about Jumanji 4, it's probably not because he's lost interest. It could just be that the project hasn't moved forward enough for him to commit yet, or maybe he's waiting to see what direction it takes before saying yes. Considering how much fun he's had in the past films and how much fans love him in the role, it feels unlikely that he'd turn down another Jumanji adventure once things officially kick into gear. And speaking of things kicking into gear, Dwayne Johnson recently brought some much-needed good news to the table. During a conversation at the Toronto International Film Festival, Johnson gave fans an update that finally makes Jumanji 4 feel real again. The Jumanji franchise has become one of Sony's most dependable moneymakers, especially after Welcome to the Jungle and The Next Level together pulled in more than $1.7 billion worldwide. With that kind of success, it's no surprise that fans have been hungry for the next installment. After The Next Level hit theaters, Plans for a follow-up were already in motion, but the pandemic and director Jake Kasdan's involvement in another project, Red One, delayed everything. Still, in 2024, Sony officially confirmed that the untitled Jumanji 4, or Jumanji 3 if you're counting just the modern reboot films, would hit theaters in December 2026, keeping with the franchise's tradition of pre-Christmas releases. Kasdan is returning to direct, and so are producers Matt Tolmach, Danny and Hiram Garcia, and Kasdan himself. The script is being written by Jeff Pinkner and Scott Rosenberg, the same team behind the last two installments. And the best part? Johnson, Kevin Hart, Karen Gillan, and even Jack Black were all expected to return, at least at one point. They've all spoken about how much fun they have making these films together, and their on-screen chemistry is one of the biggest reasons fans love the series. But for a while, everything went quiet, and people began to wonder if the movie had quietly fallen into development limbo. That's why Johnson's latest update was such a big relief. Speaking at TIFF, he confirmed that Jumanji 4 is scheduled to begin filming in November 2025. That means production is officially back on track. During his panel, titled In Conversation with Dwayne Johnson, he also talked about how much he enjoys working with Kevin Hart, crediting their friendship and comedic timing as the secret behind their success, both in Jumanji and earlier films like Central Intelligence. So what does all this mean for Jumanji 4? Well, it means the film is finally moving forward again, with Johnson confirming that cameras will start rolling in November 2025 and the release date set for December 2026. The movie's timeline is lining up perfectly. After years of silence, fans now know that Jumanji 4 isn't just a rumor, it's actually happening. Of course, we don't have any official story details yet, but Kevin Hart has hinted that this next film might be the final one in the series. That idea fits, considering how the next level ended on a note that teased the possibility of the game bleeding into the real world. And back in 2019, Johnson even mentioned that his character, the in-game avatar Dr. Smolder Bravestone, had a mysterious player named Jurgen the Brutal, whose identity could be explored next. So there's definitely more story to tell, and it sounds like the filmmakers have some big ideas in mind for how to wrap things up. For fans who have been waiting since 2019, this update is exactly the kind of news they needed. It's been a long time since we've seen the gang back together, and now that production has a set start date, everything finally feels real again. The timeline gives the cast and crew plenty of time to prepare, and with the 2026 holiday season as the target, Sony is clearly aiming for another massive family-friendly hit to close out the year. What makes Jumanji so special, beyond the visual effects and wild adventures, is the chemistry between its main stars. The dynamic between Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart is pure comedic gold, but Jack Black and Karen Gillan complete the team in a way that makes their group feel perfectly balanced. Their banter, timing, and warmth bring an energy that few other franchises can match. So even though there's some uncertainty about Black's return right now, fans are hopeful that once filming officially begins, he'll be there to rejoin the team. Now, it's up to director Jake Kasdan and the writing team to take what worked in the last two movies and make it even bigger and more exciting. So while Jack Black's comments might have sounded uncertain, there's still plenty of reason to stay optimistic. Production is gearing up, the rest of the core cast seems eager to return, and the franchise's creative team is coming back stronger than ever. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.